All right, we're gonna do a simple but kind of active hip stretching to help improve hip mobility and hip dynamics. So in mobility, we always wanna think, what's our range of motion in balance with the level of strength? So this is a nice way to just kind of lubricate that hip joint and get it going. It's gonna be on hands and knees, so if you need not hand padding, if you need hand padding, definitely get some wrist padding, or you can always try your forearms. You could use yoga blocks, but if you need knee padding, grab a towel, or if you have a foam pad to put it down, and you just put your knees on there. And if you need hand padding, or if you want to make a fist, you can always choose that. So the first thing we're going to do is press the whole hand nice and active. A lot of times we kind of roll out and lift the index finger and the thumb up. We're going to press the whole hand down. Feel the face, the chest, and the belly kind of lift away from the ground, but without tucking the tail or rounding the tail or extending. So I'm not trying to go either way. I'm just trying to think, float away from the mat. Hands are pressing down. Hug your arms a little bit towards each other. Maybe you even hug your legs a little bit towards each other. You're going to push with your arms as if you're pushing your mat out in front of you to allow your hips to hinge back. I'm still hugging my arms together. My belly and chest are still lifting away from the floor. And I'm hinging in my hips. So I'm not rounding, but I'm also not extending. I'm just trying to think, can I stay level? Can I let my sits bones widen and my pubic bone reach back? So I'm working on this crease, like releasing in this hip crease, allowing my femur, my thigh bone to roll in the socket, allowing my pelvic floor to stretch, but also stay engaged. And then I want you to pull with these active arms to pull forward. Keeping the lift of your torso away from the ground, push with the arms, keep hugging them together, allow the sits bones to widen, pubic bone and tailbone reach straight back, and then pull forward. One more like that. If you need more, you can always do more. We'll just do 3 here and then pull forward. And then we add one leg going out to the side. So one leg stretches out, toes point forward, pinky edge of the foot tries to anchor down. You might be a little rotated, but try and find as level as possible with the shoulders and the hips and the mat. Lifting the head, the chest, the belly away without tucking, because especially go here, we start to feel some inner thigh stretch. We start to tuck under. We're going to stay level. And we're going to press with those arms, allowing the pubic bone to go straight back. Sits bones will widen. And then I'm going to push to this bottom shin. I'm going to activate my feet just like I'm activating my hands as I pull forward. Pressing back and pulling forward. Pressing back. Hold there. Breathe. Settle in a little bit. You don't have to go back as far as I do. You might do more. You might do less. Breathe. I'm still active in my bottom leg. And then pulling forward. Then from there, your leg that's out to the side, you're going to reach that arm up and then you're going to open up towards the ceiling. But that's from that bottom arm. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Lifting away from the ground. Breathe there. We're going to thread this top arm underneath that bottom arm. Allowing your head to go to the mat. Hopefully by your hand. Breathe. And then you're going to push through that arm that's on the floor and open up. And do that one more time, allowing your hips to hinge as you take your head down. You're tipping your pelvis on those legs, on those femurs, and then opening up. Then you'll bring that hand down. You'll bend that knee of the leg that's out, and you'll wiggle that foot forward towards that front hand. You're going to be outside the hand. If you need to walk your hands or your knees back or your hands forward, please do so. And you're just going to shift forward. But as I shift forward, I'm thinking about pulling my front foot underneath me. I'm allowing my knee to track over my middle toes. And I'm letting this back hip stretch forward, right? I'm going to stay forward here. If you need to come up on your fingertips or even use yoga blocks, you're welcome to do that. So not only is it a stretch for the front of my back leg, it's also a nice stretch and crease in this front leg and in the knee as well. Be gentle if you have meniscus issues that you're not pinching too deep. You might just go knee over ankle instead. And then you're going to push through that front foot. You're going to lift the ball of the foot and the toes up. And you're going to attempt to straighten that leg, reaching those sits bones back. Belly, chest, head away from the floor. And then we're going to go forward and back again. You're going to breathe and you're going to go forward. And you're going to breathe and you're going to stretch back, lifting the toes up. And you're going to breathe and you're going to go forward. And then you're gonna breathe and you're gonna go back. And then you're gonna find a happy medium. And you're gonna take your hands to your thigh. And you're gonna reach your arms out to the side. You're gonna see if you can pick up this front leg. Could you just balance and pick up that front leg and bring it down? Could you pick it up and bring it down? Could you pick it up and bring it underneath you so you get ready to do the other side? So I'm gonna pick it up, bring it underneath me, back to our hands and knees. So adjust accordingly, wiggle. Maybe you need to wiggle your shoulders around. You're breathing here, head, chest, belly, away from the mat. Arms are hugging together, whole hand is pushing down. Push the mat out from in front of me, so I'm pushing my mat away from my body as I allow my hips to hinge, sits bones widen, pubic bone and tailbone go back, but my belly is lifting away from my thighs in this angle. Pull with those arms to come forward. Press to go back. Maybe you hold and breathe there. And then pulling as you come forward. Going one more like this, going back. And pulling as you go forward. Keeping that engagement through your trunk and your arms. Take one leg and stretch it out to the side. Toes pointed forward, pinky edge of the foot on the ground, shifting back. Keep the hands and the arms active. Stay back there, check in. Are you allowing your sits bones to widen? Are you tucking your tail and your pubic bone under, or is it going straight back? What about the belly, the chest? What about the activity in the arms? Pull forward. Going back again. And forward. And back. And it feels different from each side, so it's going to be different. That's okay. And then you're going to find a happy medium between the legs and the arms, and you're going to take that arm of the straight leg, the one that's out to the side, you're going to reach it out to the side, you're going to push your bottom arm down to help open you up to that straight leg side. Your hips might want to do some shifting. You're going to try and keep them center-ish with the mat. And then you're going to thread that arm under, taking your head down, breathing. Did you allow your tail to go up as your head went down? And then press to that arm that's on the ground and open up. And then threading that arm underneath, breathing there. And then opening up and bring that hand down. Bend that leg that's straight, bend it, walk it forward to the hand. You're on the outside of that hand. You can walk your hands a little forward. Allow that back hip to come forward, getting a nice stretch to the front of the hip. Allowing the knee to track over those middle toes. Maybe it goes beyond the ankle, but if you have meniscus issues or other knee issues going on, you may not want to go that deep, but we're going to try. We really are working the crease in that front hip as you stretch in that back hip. And then you're going to straighten that front leg, lift the ball of the foot and the toes, reach the hips back. I'm trying to get them squared. They're probably not perfectly square, but we're aiming towards some sort of railroad track with my sits bones here. And then coming forward. But your hips are, your legs, are in two very extreme positions. So your pelvis is not going to be like 100% even and level there. And go forward. You're going back and forth. You really want to be active. Like I'm pushing through my back shin. I'm active in my front leg. So at any moment, I'm not collapsed in my arms. At any moment, I can come up. I've got some rebound in my leg. And then you're going to stretch back. I'm really digging that heel down. I'm reaching this back, but I'm active in pushing this front heel down and pushing my back shin down. And then you'll come forward and we'll take the hand to that thigh. I am going to bring my knee over my ankle as I walk my hand up. I'm not thinking back bend to come up. I'm thinking pubic bone, hip bones, navel, ribs stacked. I'm going to reach my arms out for some balance help. I'm going to see, can I, it's different on each side, lift this leg up. Not as long. And then lifting up and down. And then could I balance and bring that leg underneath me? And then we're going to tuck the toes. And you're going to look at your toes. And you're going to say, hey, toes, can you peel under and get parallel? And you might have to go in. Like I'm going in and I'm physically going in and adjusting them as level as I can. Separating my toes, trying to get them all pointed forward, trying to get my pinky toe on, all that good stuff. And then walk your hands towards your knees and then your thighs. Again, this is a really deep knee bend. So if you have trouble with that, you could take a roller behind your knees. You could take a towel behind your knees. And as I get there, I'm gonna get really deep in the crease of that knee. All right, so I can sit here. I wanna see if I'm still kind of like lifted up and it's all tense, or can I reach the heels back, almost like I'm trying to get the heels to go beyond the ball of the foot here. And I try and breathe and relax. I try and get my ribs. Sometimes you'll be here because the tension on the back line of your body is so intense that you can't be upright yet. But over time, instead of just thinking you're supposed to be upright and bringing your head back, over time, just think, can I coax my pelvis to level? So pubic bone, navel, and hips, can that all be level? And then can I get my ribs and my shoulders and my head? Breathing there. Trying to let it go. And then release and point the toes. And just sit on the tops of your feet. And maybe take your hands and kind of massage your feet, letting you stretch the tops of the ankles and the tops of the feet. Really nice if you have toes that kind of curl up on themselves. All right. Last but not least, you're going to take your hands back forward, back to the starting hands and knees. You're going to tuck your toes again. You're going to engage the arms by hugging them towards each other. Head, chest, belly, away from the ground. You're going to shift back, and you're going to pull forward. You're going to shift back, and you're going to pull forward, and then you're going to shift back. You're going to hold there. Keep thinking about pushing the mat away from you. You're going to lift your knees off. Make sure that your spine didn't round or extend. You're just in between. And then you're going to press back, hinging in the hips. And then from here, instead of just thinking butt up, you're going to think thigh bones back. Thigh bones back. Like someone's there pulling your thigh bones back. You're still lifting your navel and your chest away from the ground. And then looking at those feet. Are they level? Are they parallel? And then you're going to walk your feet at least shoulders distance. Some people will feel more comfortable with a little turn out. So do turn out if you need to, or stay parallel. You're going to use your hands and walk back, trying to minimize the sway side to side. Walking back, and you're going to go down into as deep a squat as you can. And you're just going to hold, and you're going to breathe here. Right? Your squat might be more like here. It might be that you're just knees over the ankles-ish. Maybe they're not quite over the ankles. And your butt is like parallel to the ground or even higher. But if you can, you try and go lower and breathe. Let your shoulders relax. Could you go all the way down? Could you breathe there? And then when you're ready, when you're like, enough, it's too much, you're just going to press off those feet. That's hard. So it might be like go up and then push off the feet. Come down to the knees, back to hands and knees. This time you can allow yourself to round just a little bit, like you're making the longest rainbow curve of your spine, and take the pelvis, lift the navel away from the thighs, keep the arms pressing down and hugging together as you shift back to child's pose. Butt coming towards your feet. Take a moment and breathe, letting the breath go into the belly against the thighs, but also into the back body. Let the shoulders relax. One more breath there. And then you gently come out of there, and you're done. So until next time, keep moving.